What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Mrs.Kelli Travel Spiritually, and on this channel, I help people awaken to the awareness surrounding them. Today, I came on here to tell you my story. I want to share my story with you on how I stopped taking pharmaceutical meds. First, I want to tell you, just because I did this my way, that this is my story, doesn't mean that I'm telling you to do it like this. I just want to explain my story to you. It may be best for you to consult with your doctor before taking yourself off your meds. This is my story, and I just wanted to share it with you guys today. I want to start from the beginning of how I actually got on these meds and briefly tell you the little story of how I ended up having to be on so many different meds, and then telling you how I got off of it. So bear with me as I share my story with you guys. I hope you enjoy. It started with one day I was sitting down at home and I started catching a lot of pain from this side, coming from my neck all the way down in my arm. And then my arm went numb and I couldn't feel it at all. And this made me very paranoid. Remind you, I was not awakened at all or going through any type of spiritual awakening. This was before I began an awakening. And I also would get pains all right here on my left shoulder, right there, anytime I would pick up things. And the numbness would not go away. I waited a couple of days to see if it would go away, and it wouldn't. Remind you, I always had a fear when it came down to any type of medical issues or even having to take any type of pills. I had a fear for some reason. It was something that I always carried with me. So one day, after feeling all that pain, I really didn't know where to start. So I began searching around to 30 miles up the road, the nearest doctor that maybe could help me figure out what's going on with the pain in my arm. Not a regular physician, but more of some type of nerve doctor or a shoulder doctor. So the only thing that was near me was a shoulder doctor. So I made an appointment to see this shoulder doctor. And when I went to see him, he did different type of exercises on me to see what was going on. He didn't really know exactly what was going on, but he went ahead and prescribed me muscle relaxers to relax my muscles and to take this at night. So there it goes, my first set of pills. After I got that, he also told me that he was going to sign me up for therapy in my area. So with that being said, I took the paperwork to the therapy place in my town and got set up so I could begin starting therapy, as well as these meds I have now, muscle relaxers. So then I began my therapy sessions. And then I noticed that when I go to places with big crowds, my kids' games, the grocery stores where there's lots of people, my heart would begin to beat really fast. And it's like I couldn't catch my breath. It's like I would lose my breath, you know? And I realized that I didn't really like being around lots of people. And I started noticing that I started getting anxiety with lots of things. And it was starting to worry me. I also didn't like closed in tight places, which I cannot pronounce this word correctly, claustrophobia, whatever you call that. I ain't like closed in tight places. So I went to see my normal physician here in town, and I started explaining to them what was going on with me, as well as me beginning to experience a lot of sadness and feeling down and crying out the blue, not knowing what was going on. I explained to her the pain I had in one shoulder and the other pain that I had in the other shoulder that was going down all the way to my fingertips, causing numbness to where I couldn't really do much for myself. And I was telling her all this, and she said that I have anxiety and sounds like lifetime depression. So she prescribed me with meds. And this is how I began getting, 3 more meds, which I ended up having anxiety, lifetime depression. So I was taking 2 types of anxiety pills, and then as well as another narcotic pain pill for my shoulder pain in my other shoulder. So when it got all said and done, I was taking 5 different type of pills, and I just was all loopy and all over the place, you know. So that was my 2 anxiety pills, my depression pills, and then another pain pill, as well as the muscle relaxers from the previous doctor. So I began taking this, and to be honest, this, when it got in my blood system about 30 days, when I noticed I started feeling more calmer, and it's really what's helping me at the moment. No lie, this really did help me out, although I would look at the side effects of these pills and frighten the shit out of myself. I would get scared, but it was what I had to do because I was living in so much pain for so long. I had this pain for over 10 years and not even knowing it. So in the middle of my first therapy sessions, mind you, I had to take 3 sessions. The first session went by and they began to send me back to the doctor to go get x-rays on both shoulders to kind of see what was going on. And one x-ray came back, and on the left shoulder was a tear that had been there for over 10 years, and I wasn't even aware of it. No wonder why it was always this ongoing pain for so long when I would lift things, and it just got worse over the years. So 2 more sessions of therapy goes by. I'm taking these sessions of therapies, and then third session, the last time I ever had to take therapy again, after shock therapy, all type of stuff they've done for me for over 3 to 4 months, they had to tell me that they couldn't figure out what is going on the right shoulder. And at this time, I had my x-ray back, but I had needed a neurologist now to actually look at this x-ray and tell me what it is that's going on. Nobody knew what was wrong with me, which was causing me to feel more and more sad over the moment, like, oh my gosh, is anybody going to figure out what's wrong with me? I took 3 sessions of therapy, nothing healed me, nothing helped, didn't gain my strength back, still in lots of pain, still numb. What is going to happen to me? What is going on? And this was very frustrating, and this was a long, ongoing process. So finally, I found a neurologist because now the therapy lady referred me to a neurologist that I needed to find a neurologist now. So I found a neurologist. Remind you, now I have to drive 100 miles away, which I'm not able to do at the time because of all the excruciating pain and numbness. So my fiance had to take off work every time I had to go to these appointments. But the first appointment, I get there and I meet the doctor. And guess what he does? Yes, he prescribes me another pill. So now I'm on 6 pills. And the side effects of these pills are very crazy. But again, this pill actually helped out as well. Once I would notice the pain, a little bit of ease. Every time when I first went in to see him, he showed me exactly what was going on. Right down the middle of my spine, there was a pinched nerve, which was causing all this numbness. And he said it's a very painful situation, but there is nothing really they could do about it. He would give me options. Like, he would actually tell me you shouldn't eat pepperoni, Chinese foods, all type of foods that all had meat and stuff involved in it. So I'm thinking, what am I supposed to eat? I mean, I can't have no meat. Like, I don't get this. He says all these types of processed foods are causing you pain. So if you lay off of this, it'll help ease your pain. And he was just giving me different things I should do. But he always stressed every single appointment, the processed foods, and would name so many different meats that I should not intake. I, of course, ignored this. And as soon as I left his office, I would literally go out to eat exactly what they told me not to eat. And you know what? I started noticing that excruciating pain that would come back from the foods I was eating. But yet, I didn't know nothing about veganism or everything about being vegetarian. No, I didn't really know what to do. This just caused more sadness and anxiety, So I would go ahead and go back home, and I'd have to rest a lot. For 2 years straight, I had to be on the couch. I couldn't grocery shop for myself. I had these pills that had me all loopy, so I could barely drive, not in a very far distance. I was barely able to wash my back when I took a shower. Getting dressed was difficult. Everything was difficult. I couldn't exercise. I couldn't really do nothing but lay around on this couch for about 2 years straight. And it was just so frustrating and down and depressing. And because I stayed on these meds throughout all this time. Now let's fast forward to the future now, okay? After about 2 years of being on these pills, and I remind you, they did help. But there is a time for things in our lives, and there is a time that we have to say bye-bye. So I did not know that this was exactly what was going to happen, but we're going to go ahead and move on. So a couple of years after that, taking these pills, I began having a spiritual awakening. Something else led to me having a spiritual awakening, which is going to be another video. I'm going to tell you guys all about it, what led to my spiritual awakening. But something led to a spiritual awakening. This is whenever I began to meditate and connect with myself, and I went through the dark night of the soul, the whole thing, all the levels that we have to go through, And then that's when I started meditating a lot. And that's when I realized meats came up, and I told the story. I have a video, you can check it out. Ralph Smart was right, why I'm vegan. It tells you why I went vegan. Well, I ended up seeing in meditation there was a blockage, and that now I had to go vegan, that my soul did not consume meat. And remember that neurologist even told me that processed foods, and meats are what was causing my pain. It was all a sign, even though I blew it off. It took 2 years later. So I ended up, got rid of that, and then marijuana came up, and I got rid of that, and I have a video over why I stopped smoking marijuana. You can check that out, and it tells the story of why I stopped that. And then all of a sudden now, these meds came up in my meditation as another blockage. So I'm thinking, by now, I already knew what time it was, but it actually bothered me because I'm like, this is something the doctor prescribed to me. This is something that did help me heal to a certain point. It eased all my pains I was having, it helped me get in rhythm with this anxiety stuff and this depression stuff. It helped me get everything all together, So I was a little fearful over actually cutting this off, and I was like, man, maybe I should call my doctor. But my higher self, I heard my higher self tell me in meditation, you are a healer. Remove the meds. You'll be okay. So moments of receiving this message, I let a week go by and I just thought about it, and it's like, you know what? I am tired of feeling like this. I'm tired of being drowsy with no energy. Although I know this helped me, it's time to cut it off. Again, we have things in our lives for a moment, people, whatever in our lives for a moment, then we have to let go. Although it helped me, it's time to let go of it. It's not a lifetime thing. This is not a lifetime thing for me. So I remind you, I go ahead and get ready to cut off all these meds. And I want to show you all the meds that I was taking without my name being on there. See? There's another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. 6 pills, you guys. I was taking 6 different narcotics every single day. And I wanted to show you that because after I make this video, I'm going to trash those. I just knew one day I had to tell this story, and the time has come, And the energy of having it here no longer serves me, so I will be letting them go. So let's go back to the story. So then I went ahead and said, okay, I got to do this. So I was telling my fiance about what came up and what I have to do. So I took myself off these pills. You guys, all hell broke loose. Real talk. You think giving up meats was so hard. You think the withdrawals and giving up marijuana was so hard. This stuff right here, these pharmaceutical meds, was horrible. The withdrawals from this was horrible. I tell you, it was one of the most suffocating things I've ever done. And the thought of it just always makes me feel like I want to cry because, you guys, it was so hard because this lasted about 2 weeks, okay? The first week of this, I literally could not breathe, you guys. Like, I would literally have to wake my fiance up in the middle of the night and couldn't breathe, and he would have to tell me, calm down, just breathe, just calm down, just breathe. And there's times I was like, I think I take me to the emergency room, I can't do this, I feel like I'm going to die. I literally felt like I was going to die, and I still trusted myself to not get back on this. There was night, by the time the third night kicked in, feeling like this and so miserable with no sleep and can't breathe. I was like, okay, that's it. I'm going to take one of these pills. I'm going to take this muscle relax. I can't take this anymore. But I heard my higher self say, but if you take this, how are you ever going to move on from this? Look at what you're going through right now. We have to put this behind you. So I fought, and then I stayed strong, you guys. I had to stick my head in the freezer. I could not sleep in my bedroom. I had to sleep on the couch, which I didn't even sleep. I would go outside in the middle of the night with fresh air, just to get fresh air, just walk around trying to breathe. Couldn't breathe, having to try to tell myself, stay calm, I'm going to pass out, I would walk around the house and 1, 2, go by, 3, go by. I walk around the house looking at everybody just sleep so good. I'm just full of tears and crying from the pain and the can't breathe. Something I never forget. Excuse me. That was so painful. And so I just would sit there and I realized I heard a voice say, breathe, breathe. Put on some meditation music and just breathe. So I found some Raindrops. And at the time, I didn't want to try to sleep with headphones on because it was uncomfortable, and I was already uncomfortable enough. I couldn't even lay down, you guys. I had to sit up on the couch, and I put the meditation raindrops stuff on my TV. It was too far away from me, so it only worked for like maybe 5 minutes. So I put it on my phone and just put the speaker of my phone up to my ear. And I remind you, I literally woke up right before it was time to get the kids up, about 6:15. I'd be finding myself, I would just wake up out the blue, sitting straight up on the couch, phone dead. And this is what I had to do every single night to try to make this through. I cannot believe how I felt like I was going to die, how I couldn't breathe. Like, what did they put in these pills that make this withdrawal so horrifying? What was it? It was so horrible. And I'm just so proud of myself to say that I actually got through something like that. That was so hard. And like I say, this lasted 2 weeks. The first week was the worst. After I got through the first week, the second week, it started getting better. And after that, it took me a long time to actually find out a sleep pattern. But I was able to breathe again and stay calm. And actually, eventually, maybe a month later, I was able to go back and sleep in my bed. But you guys, I literally would have to breath work through this all night long and listen to these raindrops meditation to get through this. This was what helped me get off of these meds. This is what helped me not pass out and end up in the hospital on more meds. This is how I got off of these pharmaceutical pills, and it was very tough. And now I've been off of them for 1 year and 2 months, and I actually went back to my doctor like maybe a year after being off of them, and I told her what I did, and she was like, oh wow, that takes a lot of discipline to actually be able to do that. Wow. And I was just so proud of myself. And now today I can do things on my own again. I'm actually strong as heck. I don't need nobody to go grocery shopping with me. I can lift anything. I'm back working out. No more pain, you guys. I healed my body. And I healed from depression that was lifetime diagnosis. And I healed the anxiety. And I healed all of that. And I no longer take these meds again. And I'm just so proud. This was something that was so tough to have to go through, and I always wanted to share this story, and now I'm sharing it with you guys, and I'm going to get rid of these pills now, like throw them away because there's no use for them, because now I've showed them to you and I've told my story to you, and I hope that my story can touch millions of lives out there, because I'm sure there's lots of people in these shoes, but like I said, the way my story is my story, so you may have to consult with your doctor. You know, just do what you got to do on your journey, because all of our journeys are different. This was my story, and I wanted to share it with you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have not pressed that like button, go ahead and feel free to press that like button, comment. I'll engage with the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and come back to see me. I love you guys. Miss Kelly Travel Spirits is checking out.